All right, guys, so let's just jump right into it. So this week's guest, the one and only cousin of yours truly,
Yes, sir.
Jordan Koslosky. Welcome back to another episode of the Monarch Social Podcast, where we discuss all things digital marketing.
In hopes to give you, the viewers at home, some valuable insight into this digital marketing world.
Another week, another dollar, Koa. How are you, man?
Gosh, I'm not doing good. When speaking of dollars, I'm getting killed by this whole stock market push right now.
This whole fiasco.
I can barely even focus on what we're doing right now because I'm stressing about how much money I'm losing.
Did you go into GameStop and Doge?
The craziest thing, GameStop, I couldn't even buy that on Robinhood last night.
Yeah,
They put a block on it.
Oh yeah.
And you couldn't buy even half shares or anything, so it was like $400 a share when it was after hours, which was crazy to me.
Yeah, dude. Robinhood is actually in some hot water.
I know. I definitely did my research on it last night.
Yeah, this week has been crazy. Lots of changes for us also.
Yes, as far as Monarch, yeah, we have some really cool stuff coming up.
Big account come up, and also employee stuff. New employees.
Yeah.
Switching some employees.
Yeah.
Shuffling some employees.
Making moves.
And yeah, making moves, and so that's really awesome. But all right, guys, so let's just jump right into it. So this week's guest, the one and only cousin of yours truly,
Yes, sir.
Jordan Koslosky. So Jordan's my cousin, and Jordan actually owns Huddle Device Repair in Pocatello, Idaho. Huddle Device Repair does all things electronic repair. And so welcome, Jordan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Jordan Koslosky. Again, I own Huddle Device Repair. For the last, probably 10 years, or if not better part of it, I've been just diving deep into consumer electronics and renewing electronics instead of putting them in landfills.
Yeah.
I believe that...
Go green.
Yeah, go green always.
Exactly, yeah, and I believe that it's just a lot better to renew a device and continue to use it if it's possible, rather than just throwing it away and calling it quits.
What got you into that? Like, when did you start repairing things?
I've always been into electronics. I mean, ever since I was a kid. When you were in IQ repair, it really hit me how much I actually wanted to get into repairing devices. Seeing just that land of repair versus throwaway and buying new. So really, I mean, electronics have been a huge part of my life forever.
Right.
With Huddle Device Repair, what would you say are like your top 3 repairs that you do?
Right now, TVs and retro devices. Retro devices like old stereos and turntables and reel-to-reels and projectors and stuff like that.
Even more so than phones?
More so than phones.
Wow.
Dude,
I feel like it's surprising.
Yeah, I remember last time we were up there.
I saw a TV come in for the first time.
No, dude, I saw this lamp. He was fixing this lamp that was like, how old?
102 years old.
It was like
No way.
It was like this super old lamp, and I was like, dude, that thing looks ancient. He's like, you don't even know.
I actually finished that up yesterday.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That's awesome. So,
That's crazy.
How long has Huddle been around? Huddle Device Repair. How long?
Huddle Device Repair started in late March of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and really started striving right in the middle of the pandemic. I started hitting my busiest time in July.
Really? A lot of business owners that I've personally talked to said COVID and the pandemic was really hard for them, being retail. So you're saying that you thrived during the
Absolutely,
pandemic.
yeah. So actually, the Idaho State Journal up in Pocatello did a front page piece on me because I was one of the only business owners to start a business and push it through the pandemic and strive and actually continue to grow while other companies were closing down or losing revenue throughout the pandemic.
How do you think that happened?
Yeah, what did you
What was it that brought people in the doors, or how did you thrive? Like, how did people know about you?
Yeah, I wish I had a really good answer to that, but I don't know. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I spent so much time building a good rapport as the front face of Idaho Eye Repair, the company that I managed for 5 years beforehand, that so many people knew I wasn't going anywhere, even though that company had closed.
You were already like the repair guy in town, and people knew, and so that was an easy transition.
That's what I was going to ask. Who is your competition?
Right now, the biggest competition is U-Break iFix and then CPR, or Cell Phone Repair.
Yeah, those are national brands.
Right.
Are they located right in Pocatello?
Yeah, so there's a CPR about 2 miles away from me, and then U-Break iFix is just up off the freeway north of my location.
Gotcha.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So we're a marketing podcast, obviously. One of the questions that I want to ask is, what have you done with Huddle to market? What's worked for you, or what have you done? Or
a lot of the things that I like to focus on are putting photos and videos of like the weird one-off repairs, like again for those turntables or the reel-to-reel or lamps, stuff like that. Just the things that people didn't really realize they could get fixed in the first place, and then put them on social media so people can realize like, oh shit, I don't need to throw this away.
Yeah.
I can actually go get this fixed. Those lamps that have been sitting in my mom's basement for 30 years, I can go get those fixed and use them. Or that hair dryer that went out, I can go get a new motor put in that and not have to go buy a new $50 hair dryer.
Crazy.
So a lot of probably your barrier to market is educating the people.
Yes.
Like a lot of times, and that's what I saw in device repair myself, was a lot of people didn't know that you could fix them.
Right.
They didn't know you could fix these items. They thought you either, like you said, Jordan, had to upgrade, throw it away, get a new one.
That's what I thought with TVs. When I saw that TV come in when we were up, 2 weeks ago, I was like, wow, I didn't know you guys fixed TVs. I didn't know you could really get TVs fixed. Like, I didn't even know that was like a thing.
And that's the number one barrier that I have to push through is like you said, educating the consumer to let them know it's not just trash because it doesn't work. I've got to explain to them this can be fixed. This is why it's better to fix it. And then there's obviously that barrier of how does the repair compare to the replacement?
Yeah.
So, talking about TVs,
yeah.
if the panel or the part that gives you the image, like this thing here, if this goes out, that's 70% of the TV. There's no reason to spend $750 on a $1,000 TV to get it repaired. You just go buy a new TV. But if the power goes out and the panel is just fine, it may be a couple $100 to fix a $1,000 TV, and you save yourself $800 instead of going out and buying a new one and throwing that one away.
No, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Like, once you look at it, once you look at devices or electronics as cars, pieces,
yes,
you can fix individual pieces. It makes a lot more sense, right? I think a lot of times consumers think that it's a whole product.
Right.
You can't replace the battery. You can't replace that one little part. And in reality, you can. You can just piece it out and
see what's broken.
Yeah, and that's just it. I get a lot of people that come in with something like a TV, and then we get talking about repairing that TV, and they go, "Oh, I just got rid of a phone that the camera went out on, and I thought it was just trash." I let them know, it would have cost you $100 to replace that camera versus $300 to fix or to replace the phone.
Yeah.
And that's just it. A lot of people don't know that you can repair individual pieces on a device versus just replacing it.
Gotcha. So you said you've been doing this for 5 years, right?
So I've been professionally fixing devices for almost 8 years.
Wow.
I have been fiddling with and fixing devices since I was a kid. I mean, it started when my earliest recollection of fixing devices was my mom and my uncle had matching Polaroid cameras from the 80s. My mom's wouldn't spit out film anymore. My uncle had dropped his and broke the shutter on it. And they gave those cameras to me to play with, just thinking, oh, he's just, he's 8 years old, he's just going to play with them.
Yeah.
I was sick and tired of not having cameras that wouldn't work. So I just took them apart and made one camera out of the two that actually worked. And then ever since then, my mom was like,
oh, wow,
there's something here. Just give him the broken stuff, let him mess with it. I fixed alarm clocks, VCRs. You know, remember those like VHS rewinders? You just put the tape in and it would just rewind it really fast. I fixed those.
No way.
I fixed clocks, watches. I mean, you remember Tamagotchis?
Yeah.
Me and my sister had like 30 of those things just over the years, and we would step on them and break the screens, or the speakers would go out, or the batteries would go dead. And I just take them apart and build good ones out of the ones that I had parts of.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Well, I was gonna say, during your professional career as this, what's the craziest thing that you have seen
Ever repaired?
In
Or like
repair.
the weirdest repair?
So I did a repair on a, I got to think of the word, electronic automatic defibrillator. So like one of those heart things. They use them. They're kind of small. They use them in like a water park. You know, for like if somebody has a heart attack or something. They're just a little thing. They set it on the chest instead of having the paddles like at the hospital.
The sticky thing.
Right, and it shocks their chest, and it's just a little module. I had a lifeguard bring one into me that wouldn't work, and I fixed one of those. And then probably the first reel-to-reel machine. So they're those big, huge reels of film, and it transfers film from one reel to another, and it plays either music or a video from the tape. And apparently they've got these rubber bands inside that turn the dials, and it had just melted and turned to goo all over the inside of the machine. So I had to scrape out this boogery rubber and get everything clean, get into like the brushless motor that would turn the dials, and clean all that out, and then replace that band. And I mean, I'd never worked on something like that, but
That's
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think not only do you have to educate people that you can repair things, but it sounds like you have to educate the people on everything that you can repair. Like, there's no way. I don't think that there's a way that you can list everything that you can repair.
Yeah, how can you market? I've repaired
everything.
Defibrillators.
Yeah, like I repair everything.
Everything. And you know, and actually, that's the title of the piece that Idaho State Journal did was "The Man That Can Fix Almost Anything."
Yeah.
And that's really it, because I don't turn anything down. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, bring it in. I'll take a look at it. I'll see what's going on with it. Yesterday, I had a girl bring in they call them a diffuser. It's basically a hair dryer with like a brush attached to the end of it. She brought that in. It wasn't working. Apparently, one of the little prong brush things broke off and fell into the impeller and was preventing the impeller from spinning. So I took it all apart and fixed it.
How much would you charge somebody for something like that?
Basic labor fees start at $49 for simple stuff. If I've just got to use a screwdriver, take things apart, and put it all back together, you know, that kind of thing, it's $49. Pretty simple.
Cool. Do you do hourly after that? Or?
I do, yeah. So it just depends on the repair, really. If it's something that's going to take me hour upon hour upon hour, I usually charge $69 per hour to continue to work on something, like if it's a complete refurbishment. If it's a device cleaning, it's a simple $49. Depending on the device, it could be $59. You know, there's a lot of things that you don't have to replace parts on. It's just like simple soldering, or just a matter of cleaning the device, getting it actually able to work again.
Yeah.
And that's just really simple, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do.
Wow. So let's one of the questions that I have then, you're the man that can do it all.
I try.
Right, to repair. But let's go to digital marketing now. You know, I know you said you make videos and you post pictures. Is that the extent of digital marketing that you do?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm an idiot when it comes to marketing. So
okay.
I mean, I take videos, I take pictures, I'll every once in a while post like a sale that I've got going on, you know, like a 20% off of a specific repair, or, you know, something along those lines. But I'm just a dumbass when it comes to marketing. I really don't know how to work social media.
I think a lot of business owners, a lot of business owners probably feel that. You know, you hear the term CEO, Chief Everything Officer, where these business owners have to wear all the hats. And so you'll get like a repair guy or a pizza guy, and they're really good at their craft. They're awesome at making pizzas. They're awesome at fixing electronics, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're great at marketing, or they're awesome at inventory. They're awesome at hiring, or, you know, there's all these different other parts of the business model that marketing is one of those big ones. And so that's a very common thing that we actually hear is like, hey, I know I need to market. I don't know how.
Or where to start.
I don't know where to start. I don't know what the cost is. What does that even look like? What can I expect? So you're not alone in that.
But I will say making content is a huge part of it. Like, that's the best way to start.
You know, I'm a digital person myself. You know, I watch Twitch, I watch YouTube, I listen to podcasts. I'm in the digital world. And so I see how other people kind of get that step up or see what they do, see the different type of like editing that goes into videos and you know, the different types of social media marketing that they put on their social media accounts. And I try to just mimic that, thinking if it works for them, it might work for me. And then I'll try to decide like, okay, this didn't work so well, so let's try this. Or this video didn't, you know, pan out too well, so let's try photos next time. Yeah, I'm just kind of trial by error at this point.
Yeah, and that's it's what we like to call is A and B testing.
A and B testing, baby. What platforms are you on?
As of right now, for Huddle Device Repair, Facebook. Yeah, I've got a couple of YouTube videos of like time-lapse videos of repairs. I haven't started an Instagram yet. I don't know what's holding me back from that, but Facebook really.
Okay. What would you say your biggest barrier to entry to like maybe using a marketing company or to expanding platforms? What's holding you back or what's keeping you from having like a legit marketing plan or marketing campaign? What would you say?
I would say the number one thing that I think is that barrier is repetitiveness. In that I'm fixing a lot of the same things over and over and over again. Yeah. And I feel like if I've fixed 30 TVs and that's all the marketing that I'm putting out there is TV repair, people aren't seeing the simple stuff like a camera replacement on a phone or a screen replacement on an iPad. And I just, you know, I get into a repair and I think, oh, this is a completely different style of repair, but it's the same device, so people aren't going to want to watch this. And I feel like that's going to be the go-to is, oh, he's fixing this and now he's fixing this again, and now he's fixing this again.
Here's another phone, so, here's another TV.
Right, and so I felt like minute touches on each one of those is better than hammering it at one time. Now, I hope you don't mind me saying, you actually gave me a really good word of advice a little while ago. You said break it into segments. So focus on TV repair for a period of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, and find out what works for you. And then move to iPad repair, and then move to stereo repair, and you know, so on and so forth, and focus on one thing at a time. And I've recently started to do that, but I haven't really seen a major change with flow of work based on it. I market heavy on, say, TV repair, but I don't see more of an influx of TVs coming in. It's still a very well blend of all repairs coming in the door.
Gotcha. When you do these, are you making, so say you have a TV repair and then you have a phone repair and then you have, like you said, an odd lamp or retro, whatever it is. Are you trying to capture each one of those? Like, do you make a video of each of those?
I'm lazy AF.
Because what I would suggest is what we make is a war chest of content.
Okay.
And so you record every single one as it comes in, right?
Sure.
At the end of the month, you'll have X amount of phone repairs, X amount of TV repairs. And then when you're doing marketing, you can literally do a full week of TVs. This is all TV week. This next week is all phone week. This next week is all one-offs, odd ones. And that at least gives you the content to really like push it consistently.
So you got that arsenal.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what comes at you, you still got that loadout of what needs to go up on socials.
And you can schedule all that out. So like build up for a whole month, and then the following month, you already have that whole month scheduled out. Because with what you do, it's a lot of time to actually do that. So it's not like you have all the time in the world to like do posts and run the company.
Right.
So use a scheduler. I would say, and I've said this a million times, Creator Studio is free and it's through Facebook. Use that and you can literally post a whole month's worth of content.
Yeah.
I need to get into that.
So the two things that we're going to jump into is the first one, questions that you have about marketing. Here you have me and Koa that, you know, all we do is market. So any questions that you have, and then we're actually going to jump in to your Facebook and give you some feedback and some pointers, what you're doing good, what you're doing, what could use work, and do kind of like a live brand audit together to give you some ideas of maybe how to strengthen that marketing push for you. So that being said, do you have any questions specifically for Koa and I that we could answer for marketing?
Yes, my number one question is, how long should I expect to see an ROI, a good ROI? I mean, if I'm throwing 100 videos a month up on socials and I'm not getting any feedback from that, do I just pull away after a month and go, okay, I need to change something up, or do I push through that? How long do I give it before I say, okay, I need to change this, I need to make something different?
I should ask this, are you talking about organic? Just doing posts?
Yeah.
Posts, I can tell you it could take 2 years of doing that.
Okay.
And again, it's a slow but very steady payoff.
Yeah.
Slow but steady.
A lot of times we get that question a lot, especially when I'm bringing on a new client. One of the first questions I always get is, what can I expect? What numbers can I expect? If I hire you guys, when do I get my money back? When can I start seeing the flow of clients? Now, the two trains of thought is this. Organic is low and slow. It's that little slow burn that over an extended period of time, it starts paying off.
Yeah.
Paid is a lot faster. It should be a lot faster. Like Koa said, I think organic, you could start seeing like a real good ROI within a year. I think it would take like up to a year to see that. Now, within that, there's a bunch of little tweaks that you can do to make it even stronger. For example, I was working with a company, not even working with him, they're my buddy. He owns a company, and I was giving him advice. And they own a gym, and I told him to start posting on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. And he started posting, and it was like 2 or 3 months of him consistently posting. He wasn't doing anything paid, just posting. And at the end of the 2 or 3 months, he goes, Morgan, like, I don't see any difference. I'm posting all this stuff, and I don't have any more students coming in. I don't have any more gym memberships coming in, right? And so I was curious, and I went and looked at his posts, and he had no call to actions. It was literally just like, here's this today.
This is our squat machine.
Yeah, like here's these students doing this. Here's this doing this. And there was no call to action. It wasn't easily navigatable to say like, hey, if you're interested, click the button in the bio. Click the link in my bio. So when we think about organic posting and what ROI is, any posting is better than no posting.
Yeah.
We all agree on that. Now, when we start posting, think about it as belts in karate. I've said this before on the podcast that like everything in life is karate, and what I mean by that is there's different belts for things. White belt, I'm just posting. With if I'm posting and having a call to action, and I'm having diverse content, and the hashtags are right and everything's right, that's going to be more of like a black belt style karate, right? So it all just depends on the quality too, when you're going to get that ROI back. I know that was a really long way to say, but yeah, organic is going to take way longer, and hopefully that there's some things that we can share with you today that and I'm actually going to pull open your Facebook.
I'm doing it.
Are you going to cast it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's why the TV went off. Cool. So let's jump in, and maybe that we can answer some of those things to help that ROI faster. Okay. And so we're pulling up, for those listening, we're pulling up Huddle Device Repair on Facebook. He doesn't have an Instagram right now, and hopefully we can,
hopefully we switch that.
Convince him otherwise. So those just listening, head on over to our YouTube if you guys want to see some content and see his page of what we're doing.
Yep.
And we'll go from there. So Koa, do you want to start us off on what you see that...
Yes. Everything we say right here is to help. I don't want to...
Everything we say is to help.
I'm not going to take anything offensive.
Don't take anything to heart. All right. First and foremost, I would change your cover photo. Just because cover photo is the very first thing you see. And so what I would do is I would post, number one, put your logo in there. But it's act as if this is a billboard.
This is your personal billboard.
You want to advertise whatever it is that you're like pushing. For example, if we're doing this, switching up devices on a weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, you want to highlight that on your cover photo. Say, we fix TVs for X amount. Or show that we are doing a discount right now, $5 off if you come in and say that you saw this.
So, and one of the things I like on cover photos too is one of the things that we talked about was that education of people need to know what you do, right? And so this is a great spot for when people land on your page that says, we fix it all. We fix all electronics. And that could be a really good message on your cover photo. Along with those different prices or specials rather. So like specials, hey, this month we're doing 20% off all phone repair. That would be like a good billboard for a month.
Absolutely.
Right? One thing that I see off the bat is the cover photo, or I'm sorry, the profile picture. One of the things with the profile picture is we like to stay within the parameters. So right now, it's not within the parameters.
It looks like it says Huddle.
It looks like Huddle Device Repair, right?
And an easy fix for that is take that same image and just put it on a square. Put it on a square background because you're just cutting it off the top and bottom. Super easy fix.
And another idea too is that you could, this logo, this where it's like the phone and the wrench, you could just have that logo be your complete profile picture because it says Huddle Device Repair right next to it. So you actually don't even need that. And this could be literally the whole profile picture. And that would look actually really cool is just having the logo in the profile picture. All right. I love that you have a book now. We hit hard on that a few episodes ago of having that book
that's
now.
Sick. That's great. You have literally each sort of device that you can do.
And those are the kind of like more common, those are the things that now that people know they can get things repaired, those are the most common, phone repair, tablet repair, laptop repair, just the simple, almost every household has at least something on that list. I didn't want to go through and put like all the itemized, like bring in a lamp.
Here's a lamp and a hair diffuser. Like all these different things. I came in one time to Jordan's and I saw him. You were fixing like the air breathe, like for asthma. What was that thing?
Inhaler?
No, it was a CPAP machine.
A CPAP machine.
Oh wow.
And he was like cleaning it out and fixing it. I'm like, what is that, dude? He's like, oh no, I'm just fixing it. All right.
That's sweet. That's good. That's a huge step because again, that's a huge driving point is your CTA, and you need to have your CTA
the call to action,
and you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I love that you have the book now. There's so many business owners that are just missing out on this book now, and like Koa said, this is awesome. You have your repairs, your common repairs right there, and I think that looks sick. I also love that you have your about section completely filled out.
With the address.
I can't even tell you how many business owners don't even have that.
You want to know what pushed me to do that?
What? This podcast.
You
knew you were coming on.
Man.
You knew you were coming on.
I think it was episode 4 maybe that you guys did, maybe episode 3.
Oh, optimizing Facebook.
Where you talked about optimizing your stuff and how much more traffic you'll get if you have full about section versus just having a website for somebody to click on. And I've actually noticed a lot of my customers that call me that have never been in to see me before have mentioned, oh, I got this information off of Facebook.
Hell yeah.
And it's because that was like the one and only place that I went to fill out that information. So I could be like, hey, I got it on Facebook. Might not have it anywhere else, but at least it's
Seriously,
there.
that about section is primo. Like that looks fantastic. Everything's filled out. And you're right. Every bit of information you would need is right there. So great job on the about section.
Yeah, 2 things are catching my eye too. First is your post yesterday, your text message marketing. That's badass. That's a form of marketing that I think is awesome.
I just started that through Square, so it was something that Square had offered me, and that's what I used to process all my payments. And so I get this little email from Square saying we're rolling out this text message marketing blast. Become part of it. Get your own text message phone number. Customers can opt into it. And I was like, hey, it's not going to hurt. Why not? And so, I immediately rolled with it, and it hasn't given me anything yet. I haven't got any text messages yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Dude, you put that
throw those out there.
It's only been a day.
Put that net out there and see what works. And sometimes a business will see it's posting on socials. Sometimes businesses will see it's getting that text message marketing, billboard rating, whatever it is. The more channels you can test and try, the better, because It comes down to data. Whatever works, you want to keep doing, right? It comes down to that data.
And dude, going further down on the post, you're being social with asking for recommendations, and then when somebody does give you a recommendation, doing that double kind of post and having writing back to their review. This is huge, bro. Doing reviews is massive.
I try to ask every customer that comes in to leave me a review. I know how important it is. I'm a review person myself. If I go to a place that sucks, I let people know about it. If I go to a place that's awesome, I let people know about it. Even just simple stuff like buying something off of Facebook Marketplace, I'll leave that private buyer a review just in case they post something else for sale. Other people will know this person's fair, this person's honest, this person sucks, this person didn't answer my call after I paid them through Venmo. Like, I want people to understand what my experience was so they can know what their experience is going to be like moving forward.
Good.
I think that's awesome. I think you're actually doing really well on Facebook.
I was gonna say, as organic as you can get, this looks great. The only thing I would say, as a suggestion, I guess you will, videos. Do some more video stuff. Video stuff is huge in Facebook world, and like I said, you do a lot of posts. I would just try to up your video game just a tiny bit. Yes. Even if it's a quick little video of like showing a product just like this, add it to the photos. Facebook loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and another thing that you could do also is because you are from this little hometown, everyone already knows you. I think one way that you could do really well on here, and this is just a suggestion, is when you do those videos, like it's you. Yeah. I think people will
be the face of it.
Be like the face, like really be like, hey guys, come on in. This is what we're doing today.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And I think people, fixing up I think people would really jive with that because it's like they already know you.
Yeah.
And
Pocatello has this kind of super homey feel.
Yeah, that hometown vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this would be my last suggestion is once you get all that down, doing a simple boosted post and geotagging your guys' area just so that everybody in Pocatello and in the surrounding areas sees those posts. For like $5, you could reach a huge audience.
So I try to do, at least once a month, I try to do a boosted post, but I'll go a little beyond the scope of Pocatello. Thinking Idaho, it takes about an hour to get from Pocatello to Idaho Falls. It takes an hour to get from downtown Salt Lake to West Valley City, you know what I mean, in rush hour traffic. So people here in a big city like Salt Lake are used to commuting for an hour to go shopping or to go get a repair done, where in Idaho, it's not common. They're like, oh, it's an hour drive. I got to look at all this crappy dead farmland. Like, I don't want to make that hour drive, where here, an hour drive is a typical commute for a lot of people. And so I'll try to reach out to Idaho Falls or even up to Rexburg, which is beyond Idaho Falls, and as far down as like Tremont, and try to cover that whole area where I know there's going to be people that will make that drive to Pocatello if they know that there's something there that they've got to have. Gotcha. Just recently, Idaho Falls got a Costco. Pocatello was the only location that had a Costco forever. Yeah. And so people were coming from Wyoming, Montana, and so on and so forth to get to Pocatello for that very reason. And so I figure if I market myself as the only person around that can fix the random shit you have sitting in your house, people will drive to see me.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, and that's one thing to test even, because I have a feeling that within Pocatello, within a 30-minute drive, even less of a 30-minute drive, doing like a boosted post and just reminding people like, hey, we fixed this, and really maybe try a lead offer with it. Say $10 off, or even more so, however much you want to do, but really hit your same area. I found a lot of success in marketing the same area, especially with a product that is somewhat repetitive. Like, people have multiple devices that can be fixed, multiple devices that can be broken. I'd say hit your general area and just test that versus testing a new area. Because again, like you were saying, having that drive time does have, an effect on how many people you can reach.
And I think just being vocal on social, everyone is on social media these days. And so organic's not dead. It does take time, but just being consistent with it like you are the coolest thing is Facebook and Instagram are so easily cross-posting, where you post on one, it automatically posts to the other. So that is the biggest thing I would say is like, keep doing what you're doing, maybe incorporate some video, become the little face of it, boost some posts. I think that you could really see some awesome traffic from that, especially, and you'll see that to be able to track it if you do a 20% off or a $10 off, or hey, we'll sanitize your device for free with any repair.
Some sort of a value, yeah.
Yeah.
The sanitize would be sweet right
because
now.
of the pandemic, and so something like that, like any device fixed this month, we're doing free sanitizing, germ free, whatever.
You could even do something like that just to get them in the door.
Yeah,
Say,
and then
hey,
you can track it,
and then try to hit people with like what would you call it? Upselling?
An upsell
once they're in the store.
Yeah, or you could just get them say, hey, you offer a free cleaning, and then while they're there, maybe you have like an upsell and say, hey, for your next repair, like I know you don't have anything broke right now, but you buy $50 worth of repair right now on this gift card, and it's worth $75 or it's worth $80, so they get like $30 free just by coming in the door.
Do you guys do a sanitize?
I'm the only business in Idaho that's got a sanitizing cabinet.
Really?
Yep.
And so what do? You just put it in there?
Is it the blue light?
It is. It's a UVC, high wave UVC cabinet. It is guaranteed to deactivate all germs, viruses, 99.9%.
I would use
say
that.
99.9%.
Just try that,
dude.
man. Just give that. I mean, again, is it a lot? Doesn't have a big cost to you, right?
No.
It's literally put that in there and let it do its thing.
Yeah, essentially it's put it in, push the button, it's on a timer for 15 minutes, close the door, let it do its thing, and
make a video about how that works, post that, and do a full week or 2 weeks of giving that for free.
Just free, and get
Just
people in the
get
door.
people in the door. It lets people know that you're there, they're getting a value with COVID and everything that's going on. Like, I think that would be huge. Just
and
a
then,
test. If it has nothing overhead, like no overhead costs, and just try it.
Share some articles how gross and dirty phones are, and like
that could be your whole trend.
Push
for
that,
2 weeks.
and all of a sudden you have these people like, oh, dude, my phone's gross. You know?
That's like my number one upsell on laptops. You got a lot of kids in this hybrid learning stage. Schools have given students laptops to use at home, and kids are nasty creatures. They sneeze on things. They pick their nose, and then they go straight to typing. They're licking their fingers, and then they're touching their screen, even though it's not a touch screen. And I get these computers that come in that are like just caked and crusty and gross. And I tell people like, hey, I'm going to be replacing this battery. I'll clean it and sanitize it for you, for an additional $30. And they go, and do that.
Yeah, another thing that I would do is I've been to your storefront, right? Even if you had a sign just right behind you that said something to that effect, like it would just be an easier upsell too, where you don't have to say anything, where people are coming in and they read that sign that says disinfect your device today, and it just helps with like the customer experience, like in retail. But
I think you should try that, man. Do a 2-week run of just pushing that for free. Get people in the door.
I will.
Just
I'll try it out.
Disinfect and sanitize. Those are the two words I would use. Disinfect and sanitize.
Sure.
Those are definite hot words. So
dude, I think this looks great.
Yeah, one last thing. You know what we're doing those are the things that we did for your Facebook. I would definitely make an Instagram. I don't think there's any reason that you shouldn't. Link those two. Jump on Creator Studio. And
do some posting.
Everything that you post, it just goes to both. And that's just another platform that you're going to be on. And the one last thing is I jumped on your website, and the only thing, I think this website's great. It does its job. It's so awesome. The only thing I would do is link the actual Instagram, because this doesn't go anywhere, and then I'd get rid of that Pinterest. That's it. So Jordan, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you let everyone listening where they can find you and how they can contact you or get in touch with you if they need.
Yeah. So again, Huddle, it's spelled a little different. Huddle. Huddle Device Repair. Huddle.com/repair. @Huddle on Facebook. Hopefully soon @Huddle on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
You can find me in Pocatello, Idaho.
You're downtown.
Yeah, Old Town, Pocatello. on one of the main streets. I mean, on Center Street directly. It's
like
very first buildings that you're going to see coming into Old Town.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for finally making it. Honestly, you know what we should have done? We should have made this podcast up at the office.
We should have done it at Huddle.
That's fine, because one of these days I'll get you guys on Huddle Up podcast and we'll podcast up there.
Yes.
And we'll talk about this run of doing the free sanitation for 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
And how successful it was.
We'll kick it off the day you guys come up and film my podcast.
Yes.
Do it, man.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
All right. Well, you can find this podcast on all the major streaming networks. That includes Spotify. That includes Apple. Gosh, I want to call it iTunes all the time, but I think it's Apple.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. If you want to watch the video, it's on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a follow on all of our socials, at Monarch Social Brand, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can always catch these wonderful podcasts on our website.
That drop every Tuesday.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and I hope you have a great week.
We'll catch you on the next one.